my phone, which is what I do all of my recording on, decided it wanted to go sideways on us. So that was a little weird, but it is what it is. Anyway, we're going to do a little pricing today. Um, and the basic way to do that is that I'm going to fix something here for a second. Is that when you do your pricing, you want to take and price all of your materials. So per bead, per wire, per everything. Hi, Beth. Hi, Georgina. And then you add that all up. And I have two ways of pricing. Number one is I add all my materials up times two, and then I add an hourly wage. Hey, Linda. Good to have you here. And then if the other way I do it is that I do all my pricing, get all the cost of everything, and then I just multiply it by 4. And whatever goes in is what I use. I'm frozen. It seems to be fine to me. Everything's moving, including my tablet. There we go. If you saw the very first bit, the phone shut down and I had to restart everything again. And weirdly enough, it said it could just resume. So I was like, all right, you're being a weirdo, but whatever. So we're going to price some earrings, some bracelets, the anklets that I made while I was on vacation, and a few other things, just so that things that I want for my show down in Beltane. So, so we're going to just, hi, Rosemary. Good to have you back. I haven't seen you for a while. Hi, Dorothy. So we're going to price a few things. Like I said, some of them are items that I got, that I made, the 2 anklets we made while I was gone, as well as the macrame bracelet and pair of earrings. So we're going to price those. Then we're going to price some earrings, including our raven skulls, and some necklaces, both of the raven skull necklaces that we made. Actually, excuse me. Don't know what that brought that on. But I'm not done, obviously. Hopefully I will be soon. We're going to price both these little, these 2 I already have actually priced. I'll show it to you in a minute. And then we have this little delicate little necklace, which is really simple. So I think we can price that out. I think this is something I got in an FOC, maybe. I can't remember for sure. But so we're going to price some things out, and things that, like I said, I want for this show for sure. And then we'll put them away in their boxes. But in the meantime, we're gonna turn down. We're gonna price some of these items, and we'll go over how to do it. For some people, it's a matter of preference. How do you want to do it? Do you want it to go this way, or do you want it to go that way? And I actually generally do both of the ways that I tend to price, just so that I have some idea of what we're doing. Thank you. Hi, Marika. So, and the tablet has stopped showing my messages again, so I'm going to have to convince it needs to. Just a second. For some reason, sometimes it likes to stall out, but that's all right. Anyway, so I placed a lot of some necklaces, bracelets, earrings down here on my desk, and then we'll have the fairy ears, as well as some hair accessories in this bin that we will go over as well. And first up, I'm going to put these back till we get to them. I'm going to have a little pile of things here that we're going to work on. And actually, I have got to fetch it, but one of the things I do with my, oh, no falling. I put them in a box, my necklaces at least, in a box so that when they travel, they're not all jumbled together. So I just got this box, so I haven't got the paper or anything off of it. But as we price the necklaces that I've decided that we need to price, we'll put them in this box so that they'll stay safe. So the first thing, let's just turn down. I'll show you what things we're going to price. I'll put some of them aside while we price the other ones. And you were watching two different lives. I can tell you how that happened because my thing messed up. So I was trying to fix it, and it popped up another one. I got back out of that one to get back into this one. And so it's a weird issue. Anyway, it does it to me every once in a while. It drives me nuts. But anyway, let's turn down and we'll see. So anyway, that's what happened. It messed up. When I first started it, it messed up. And then because it wanted to go sideways. So while trying to fix it, it went to a new one. And then I got it to come back to the original one. So, but it's technology is, yeah, it can be a pain in the rear, can't it? Anyway, so let's turn down. We'll look at some of the things I want to price today, and we'll go over how I tend to price everything. And I think we'll get a few things priced today. I might add more to the things I'm pricing because I do need to price some other things as well, like the sun catchers. I am going to take the cloud sun catcher and the little heart sun catcher. So I will be needing to price those as well. So let's turn down and we'll start pricing some stuff. Come on, turn. There we go. As you can see, I have a whole pile of stuff here on the desk. I'm probably not going to price. Well, yes, we probably will price all of it, but we may not. Oops, too much. Just a little bit. Yeah. Screw it. It can stay big. Anyway, so here are a lot of these we actually made on air. Here's this double strand pearl necklace with the these are the shell pearls with some crystals. We have this necklace was a FOC necklace that I made into a double strand necklace with the rosary chain from Bargain Bead Box. This one is the one with the two-sided moon. We have this little adventuring point, which I added some little tiny adventurings into the chain to bring that adventuring color up into the chain. This one we'll leave here for right now. This is the little raven skull with the slightly smaller raven skull. This one costs a little less than this one. And then it's got the bone beads in it, which I thought went really well. Technology is technical, yeah. Then we have the jade, crystal, and glass pearl earrings we made while we were down at the beach. as well as our macrame corded bracelet. I think this turned out really well. Actually, I was thinking I need to get some more of this cord because I might want to make some more of these. They are pretty cool. And the 2 anklets we made down at the beach, as well as I have 4 or 5 pair of earrings over here on the side. One of them being the, the earrings that match this necklace. Now, I've already priced these 2 out. I just didn't put their prices on them, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I keep a notebook, and then, oops, got some other notes in it. Here it is. So here is our earrings. I've already done them up, obviously. So there they are. And we started with the price of the ear wires, then jump rings, the leather cord ends, the leather itself, the little amethyst large hole beads, the carnelian, these large hole spacers, these crimp covers, and then our raven skull. So then we got the amount of each one. As you can see, for say the leather ends, I had 4, and they obviously cost me $1.50 a piece. Well, no, not $1.50, 75 cents a piece. And so that is how we priced these out. We came down to here, and we have the times 2. The price was for all these components was $10.50. Then I multiplied it by 2 and got 21 and added about, I have $17.50 here. I charge about $35 an hour. This was about half hour for the earrings, so they would come to $38.50. I don't like an uneven number like that, so I made them into $40. If I were to do the times 4 amount, they would be 42. So they're close as far as pricing is concerned. However, they sometimes they're close enough that then I decide which one I want to go with. Do I want to go with that higher price of $42, or do I want to go with that lower price of $40? And I'll probably go with $40. So I need to put these on an earring card and then put the price on the earring card when I do those. I thought I had some punched, but I may not, which is a problem. Anyway, so that is the earrings. Then we did the same for our necklace. It's over here on the other side. And we have our large raven skull. Now, there's 2 carnelians listed here because one of them is a rondelle, which is, kitty's been on my mat. This is a rondelle. This is larvicite. This is a round, and that's a rondelle. Now, this rondelle is carnelian, as is this one. This is larvicite, and that's an amethyst rondelle. So I got the price of each one. I got their price, and I said I had 2 of them, which means these were 38 cents, excuse me, per bead to make it be 76 cents. So we got 2 of each. We had 8 of the barrel spacers, the 2 crimp covers, daisy spacers, the ends, the lobster claw, the jump rings. Oh, there's the leather. I was going to say, I didn't have the leather on there. How could I not have the leather on there? So the necklace came to just a little bit more than the earrings at $10.70 for the parts. It also took me about a half hour to make. So once I multiply that by 2 and we add the time, comes up to $38.90. So the base price is $40 going that direction. If we do the multiply by 4, it comes to $42.80. So again, I'm going to go. How the heck did phone call get through. Anyway, so $40 for each piece of this, the necklace and the earrings. So then once I have the price, I will take, oh, I don't have any here. Just a moment. These are Rhino labels. Now, if they're going to a craft show, I'll put a Rhino label on them with the price on it. This pin doesn't want to work with beads, but it works good enough, I guess. Come on, right there better. And then we'll just take this and go around one strand. Close it up. And then we're going to put it in the box in one of these slots. Now, if I do more than 8 necklaces, I will probably like double up the raven skulls so that some of them can be, I don't mind doubling. Others are a little bit more delicate and I don't want to double them up so much. So that's for those. I usually I have little stickers that I put on my earring cards for, I don't believe I don't have any earring cards made up because I usually do. I use these business cards that I make specifically for my earrings. They're just like a regular business card, but I've got my logo up here and all the information that's on the back of my regular business card is up here in the front. So this is getting old and I need to get a new one as well because it's not sharp anymore. Come on. So then we'll take this earring card once I get it out of its punch here. Unfortunately, like I said, my punch is getting a little bit weird and it doesn't want to, I need to pull it apart and see if I can oil it or something so that it will, for one thing, punch better or easier. And then the other thing is needed to get it out easier. So there is that one punched. And I will get a little sticker and put the price right here where I have this hollow spot. And then we'll put our earrings on this card. So for the earrings, I use these Avery multi-use labels. They're just little guys. And I'll put the price here. And then it goes right here above my name before my label. Now this punch I really love because it's specifically made so you can use it for lever back ears, earrings because of the loop around. And then once I have them in here, I will put them in a little baggie. And then they'll go into a box until I get them to the craft show and can switch out the earrings in my kits or on my ear wire, my earring holder. And I do that periodically, change my earrings in my earring holder so that I have so that I have new ones up for this show. I will put in some that I really think are pertinent to Beltane, like flowers or clouds. Like, this is why I'm getting these out. I want to put these in because they are clouds. It is spring. I think that the Beltane Festival is a spring festival, so I think that they'll go well in that festival. So we'll be putting these to pair with that we made with the clouds into this show, as this one, as well as this other pair here. Come on. Can I? Yes, actually I do. Sometimes, Marika, yes, I do love my items. Frequently I feel a urge to not sell things because it's like, oh, but I really like that one. And if I really get that urge, they do stay with me. Especially earrings. I love earrings. And yes, I do show. The thing that is really wonderful is when you go to a show, and that it's a show you've done for multiple years, so you know the people have come, and so and they've come maybe year after year, and they are wearing an item that they've purchased from you in previous years. That really, really goes far as making you feel good. I know it does me anyway. I have had at the Renaissance fairs, I have had ladies purposefully come to me and show me that they're wearing the circlet that they purchased from me in years past. So I think it's really a sort of an ego booster, and it really helps your confidence a lot when that happens. So, hey, Chris, welcome in. Let's see, and Sid's here. Anita. It is a neat punch, but I do need to pull my punch it apart and see if I can get it oiled or something so it's not so stiff, because as it's gone through the years, I've used it a lot, and it's gotten a bit stiff for punching holes and stuff. So, unfortunately. So, somebody once asked me, oh, these are the Spring Bloom floral earrings. I put these in my Etsy shop, so they're not going to be. So we need a fresh piece of paper, and we're going to get the need to take these off of here. I made fairy ear blanks yesterday, and then I put some things in them that I'm going to make into fairy ears later, so that I have some more fairy ears for my show. And then we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna price these things out here. And this is actually going to be the simplest thing to price, this bracelet. I do. And some of it is really hard to give up. You've got those real favorite ones that you're going, oh, but I don't know that I want to give that one up. And but it's really special when you do, and somebody brings it to you and says how much they enjoy it and they love it. Now, this bracelet really doesn't have much to it as far as pieces are concerned. It's got 5 of these big whole yellow beads. So we'll put this, and then it's got the rat tail. Now, this is a whole spool of rat tail. So this is the sunshine yellow macrame bracelet. I tend to name my things so I can identify them better. And this one is a real simple one. Like I said, it's got it was one full spool of rat tail. So, and the rat tail, when I purchased this spool, it was only 99 cents for the spool. I doubt if it's that anymore, with the price of everything going up. And I purchased this many years ago. So I'm going to guess that if I had to replace this and do a new spool, and actually I was going to go buy some more because this turned out really nice and I really like it. And, but yellow is not my color. Frankly, if I wear yellow, it makes me look like I've been dead for a week. So, no. But I think it's a beautiful bracelet. It turned out really nicely. So I'm going to guesstimate that it would probably be at least $2 for this spool anymore. The beads is the only other thing in here because we did our ends by melting the rat tail. There's the melted spot right there with a lighter. And so that's all it is just the one spool of rat tail and the 5 beads in this. So these 5 beads were 35 cents a piece. Calculator out. So that makes $1.75. So this bracelet, as cute as it is, it only cost me $3.75. Actually, it cost me $2.75 to make it because, like I said, I bought this rat tail forever and a day ago, but I don't think I could replace it now for that price. So, same with you, Cynthia. You look horrible in yellow too. I don't even look real good in orange unless it's one of the oranges that leans more towards red than yellow, or even reds sometimes, if they lean more towards the orangey color, they don't look real good on me. They do if they lean more towards the purples. So, live and learn. So anyway, this was said be $3.75 to make it again, is my guess anyway. So we'll go 3.75 times 4 is $15 if we do it times the times 4 method. So, but if we do it times 2, is $7.50. But the thing is, this bracelet, something just fell. Not good. I'll have to fetch that. This one is going to go to the times 4 method because I took almost an hour. If I recall right, it took me a good 45 minutes to an hour to make that. So we'd end up having to add at least $25 for time. And then we're looking at $32.50. This is one of those things that is going to be a lot different because the materials cost a lot less. So because I took that much time, but the materials cost a lot less, sometimes what I will do in this instance is because by material times 4 is only 15, but by materials times 2 plus my hourly wage, we're looking at a drastically different price here, $17. So what I will normally do when that occurs is I will break down that $17 and I'll probably go add $8 to this because we're at such a different amount. So then we're at, well, I'd make it 22. That's 7. I like even numbers. I'm weird that way, unless it's a 5. So I would probably make this bracelet be $22. So I know, weird way of doing that one because it is such a strange thing as far as the differencing in pricing between the times 4 and the time 1. But I don't want to jip myself off by neglecting my time at all. So that's why I split the price between the two. And now because this is going to have its price go right here on this bar here. So 22. Now I do this same thing with my circlets when I do them, because with the cost of wire and such, it ends up being, if I do the ×4, it ends up not being very expensive. But with the time I put into them, which is generally anywhere from 3 to 4 hours, we're looking at, an exorbitant price. So I tend to split the time price in half and go with so it's a little bit different, but if you don't want to go with that full price of with your time, you need to think about something like this. So this is just a weird little, how do I want to put it? A measure to make yourself not be losing a lot of your time funds, your label. It doesn't negate your time, so to speak. It does negate part of it, but it doesn't negate all of it. Lily, get off the counter. Excuse me a moment. There, she got down. Sorry, didn't mean to yell like that, but Lily decided she needed to be on the kitchen counter, and that's a no-no. She's allowed most places, but the kitchen counter isn't one of them. So, she got down when I screamed at her. So, okay, have I ever done something where I give something less expensive away when somebody spends more? Yes and no. I do have a small bowl of less expensive earrings. These are some of my cheaper ones that I use acrylic beads and things with. I have them in a little dish. I also give these away with my online orders. See, I make them and just dump them in this dish, and then I'll pull a pair out with an online order. But I have a little dish like this also at my shows. I call it my sell dish, and I give people the option of taking a pair of earrings out after they spend so much. Or I sometimes have a drawing. Or I sometimes have a drawing where if you spend more than such and such an amount of money, I have this one item. Like at last year's Renaissance Festival, I put one of the fairy ears in as if you spend more than $30, you get your name in the pot to have a drawing, and somebody wins those fairy ears. The lady that won those fairy ears was truly excited to win them, so that was cute. But I do either one of those things. And somebody suggested to me the other day, which I haven't done yet, but I'm definitely considering doing, is those, I'm not sure where I put them. I have to find them. I have these little heart dishes that at Valentine's Day, I sent the free gift off in, and I still have some of those left. And somebody suggested eggs, like for Easter eggs. Put a little piece of paper in each one saying you get so much off of this, or you've won a prize, or you know, something like that. And you put them in a basket. And if you spend more than like $25, you get to choose an egg out of the basket. And then you get that prize. Could be something like you get a $25 gift certificate, or you get a $10 gift certificate, or you have a specific amount off. I don't do percentages off because I don't like change. I do have to have it when I'm in Idaho because they have taxes, and we don't here in Montana. But when we're on, when I do one of those things, I'll say you can get $1 off of something. That's the minimum I'll take off because I don't like percentage, because it's going to pop me into change, and I hate change. I don't even bring it to any shows here in Montana. I just bring bills. I don't bring any coins. So, ooh, I do need coins for this show because this is Idaho. I have to charge tax. So, so there we go. So that, I hope that answers your question. I don't always do anything like that. Sometimes I do. If it's like a show that, when I was doing the farmer's market, I wouldn't do that because let's face it, the farmer's market is every week, so that's too much. But if I'm doing a big show like this one this weekend, I will come up with something for special. Now, the Beltane Festival did tell us they didn't want us to do drawings this weekend, so I won't be doing a regular drawing, but I might do the little hearts, like I said, or eggs, and put in some little slips. You know, I might put, some of the slips may just be something like, I hope you have a beautiful day, and not, you know, any regular prize. So, you know, there are those things you can do. Now, I also had somebody tell me that I should take my business card, my logo, and make postcards. And then on those postcards, you put on the back of on the blank side, you put down the all the shows you're going to be to, because inevitably people ask you, are you going to be at any other show? What shows are you going to be at? Exact stuff like that. And if you have a postcard with all that information on it already that you can just give to people, have sitting on your desk, whatever, then that's really helpful, because they can stick it on their refrigerator or whatever, and then they'll know where you'll be the next time you're there. So, because these two are items that we know the price, the item's price more or less, because they're from the Beadbox Bargains. And we're going to get these out. Here's our kit. And it's got the suggested retail price on the side here. We know that's not the price when we buy them from them. Some of these I have repurchased. So I do know, like the shells in this set right here, even though they cost $3.90, it still says $3.99. I didn't must not have put the price on them when I got them. But you can take the price, their manufactured retail price, unless you want to look up the regular price and use that price for the items here. Because if you weren't getting them from there, if you were getting them from a different store, you'd probably have to pay that manufacturer's retail price. So let's go with the double clouds here. And the shell pieces, I don't think they cost me as much as the manufactured retail price, but I'm not sure. And I don't have the means to look it up right now. That's a good one. You know, I have not thought of doing a flyer with, talking about me and my channel. All of my business cards do have that information on the back, and I think the earring card may even have it on it. What did I do with those earrings? The Etsy shop, yeah, my YouTube channel is listed on my earring card as well as my business card. But I haven't tried doing any flyers. Yeah, because it's wonderful to have them, but at the same time, you have to remember that most outdoor shows, or most of your shows anyway, are going to be outdoors, and you don't want to sit something on your desk or your calendar that's going to easily fly away, because you're going to be rounding it up if you do. And so, just one thing to think about. Now, as you can see, I'm putting down everything that I've got. I'm making a list of everything that's on these earrings. We've got our shell clouds, the steel clouds, head pins, eye pins, the Amazonite teardrops, the crystal teardrops. Now, I was naughty and didn't look up these prices, so some of them I will have automatically, like the bead caps, the ball spacers, though these are the ball spacers from out of the kit, which were a lot more expensive than a lot of them are. Now let's see, I need the lightning bolt. So with the clouds, we have two. Oh, I don't have the latch ear wires. Or jump rings, which we do need jump rings too. You want everything because everything adds up for you. It's not free for any reason. So there's the two of these, two of these. I only have two head pins, one on either one of these. See, this one has a head pin. This one has a head pin, but the other two are eye pins. So we have two head pins, but we have 4 eye pins because we have one for each of up here for the cloud and down here. Then we have 4 of the Amazonite teardrops, 2 of the crystal teardrops. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 bead caps. 1, 2, 3 on each of these. So 6 ball spacers, 2 lightning bolts, 2 ear wires. And then let's see how we put these all together. I think they're all jump rings. There's one jump ring here. Yep, and there's so we have 6 jump rings. So then you have to put the price of what these all come to over here on the side. Now I'm going to tell you the jump rings tend to be around 4 cents each, sometimes a little more. My eye pins were 10 cents each. So we'll put 40 cents here. The ball head pins are about 16 cents. The ear wires, I believe are 38 cents. no, 35 cents a piece. So 70 cents for the pair. Jump rings, like I said, are about 4 cents each. So 24 for the whole thing. Now I have to see if I have in my pricing the price of any of these pieces that I don't think I priced them out though, other than the retail price. Though I did do the bead caps because I've used them. And they are like $1.29. I think there were 50 for $1.29. So those would be 4 cents a piece. So that would be 16. And I haven't got the other things priced out because I was remiss and I didn't bother to put it on. And we could use the manufacturer's retail price because let's face it, these go off sell and you can't buy them anymore, even at Beadbox Bargains frequently. So you could use the manufacturer's retail price if you want to go that route. I generally go with what I could purchase the pieces at Bargain Beadbox. So since I didn't write that down, we're not going to finish this pricing up. We'll just start there. This is where we're sitting with the ones I know the price of. Ordinarily, I'd say the ball spacers are 3 cents each, but they're not. These are steel ones. They are a lot more. Hi, Gloria. I always put in a business card in all of my sales bags, and that I put people's purchases in, and then of course my earring cards are also a business card, so they're just a little different than my regular business card. But when people are purchasing like a necklace or a bookmark or something like that, I always have a regular business card inside the bag, and then I also brand my bags. This is closed still. I haven't opened this particular package. Now this doesn't have any information on it other than my business name, but I always put, well, the organza bags, which I use for small items, do not get these. Obviously, they won't stick. But if they have bigger items and I need to use one of my paper bags, which incidentally are red bags with some handles, I always have one of these stickers stuck on the front as a branding. Branding is always helpful. It lets people remember. The teardrops are $1 for each. I'm not sure they cost that much, but I have to check. I'm not sure. So this pair of earrings, I'm going to set aside because I will finish pricing it later because I do need to have that specific pricing. Same with this pair. I will list, but like I say, go take your earring, sit it beside you. I used the ear wire. I used wire here to make this. I've got a eye pin here. We've got jump rings. We've got clouds. We've got the daisy spacers and the little bead caps. You got each one of the crystals. Always add everything up because it costs you, 10 pieces for $9.99. Well, that's $1. The cloud charms are $1.50 each. Okay. Now, are we talking about the shell clouds or these bubbly steel clouds? The bubbles are $1.50 each. Okay, so that'd be $3 to here. And the teardrops, which are 10 for $1.99, which ones are those? The crystal ones or the Amazonite ones? I'm assuming the Amazonite ones because I remember that they were 10. Now that did say 10 pieces for $9.99. But if I were to rebuy them from Bargain Beadbox, would they be that much? Or Beadbox Bargains? Because they might not be. They're really good about having lower prices. Of course, that does, when it comes right down to brass tacks, if you were to buy them from anywhere else, that manufacturer's suggested retail price is actually probably what you'd pay. I think that's a cool name, Perfect Harmony Jewelry, Beth. I think that's before your discount. Yeah. So if you had to pay the suggested retail price, which you would in any other store besides Bargain Beadbox, let's face it, you would, then you might want to go with that price. It's up to you. You know, pricing is one of those things that is suggestive. You know, it's exactly what you want to spend. I mean, want to call it. Like I said, for the rat tail, I put down $2 for the spool. I don't know if that's what it is right now, because I bought that spool of rat tail probably 5 years ago for 99 cents. And I doubt extremely strongly if it's still 99 cents. But I like your name, Perfect Harmony Jewelry, Beth. I think that's great. And your tagline, where quality and affordability go hand in hand, is really cute. Now, mine, the shell clouds are $3.99 for 2. Okay. And the Amazonite teardrops are about $1 a piece. So we'll put those down. But my tagline is uniquely yours. It used to be on all my business cards, but it's not anymore. I don't know why I took it off. But that's what my tagline is uniquely yours, because I only make one of anything. So anyway, we're going to pop over to this anklet. This is the shell anklet that we made while we were down at the beach. We have our little turtles here, and oop, come here, you. This is the little turtle shell anklet. Now, some of these I'm going to have to guesstimate at the price. Why? Because I have no idea how much they cost. The reason for that is that these brown pearls, these brown shell beads, which I really love, and I wish I could find some more, and these little hishi beads, the shell hishis, were in a bag of goodies I got from Randy. It wasn't an FOC. It was one of those prize things from ticket drawing. So I don't know how much they would cost. So we're going to guesstimate those. But first, we're just going to list everything that we've got made that we used. So the first thing we've got is our lobster claw. We have extender chain. That's only about 2 inches of chain. And that's what I'll call it, 2 inches. That's a foot. Now we have our beading wire. And this beading wire came out of there. There we go. Beading wire. And I can already tell you that I have looked this up a long time. actually, I need to reprice the beading wire. I repriced it when I first started doing Softlex, and it's about 80 cents a foot. It's probably more than that now because that was when they cost $7.49 for a spool, and nowadays it's $8. They've raised the price some. So actually, we can figure that out. It's $8.49. Well, it's about 85 cents now, I think, about a foot first. So this is an anklet, so I used at least 9 inches. It's a 9-inch anklet. I'm fairly positive it is. Oh, it might not go down on it. Goes all the way down on this one, so it is longer than 9 inches, but I forgot this one only goes to 9 inch. This one only goes to 8 3/4. And my other one is, oh, it's right here. Come here, you. This one is the one I take on with me when I go on the road because it doesn't care. Yeah, it's 9 inches. So because it's 9 inches, I can more or less guarantee that I used almost a foot of wire because I do not like to have it too short. I'd rather cut some off and then have it too short. So that is going to be 85 cents. So then we have our lobster claws. We have 2 here. Actually, technically we have 3 because we have one down here at the end of the extender. Or not lobster claw, jump rings. I already said lobster claw. So we have 3 of those at 4 cents each. That's 12. And actually, some of these are more than 4 cents, but I averaged those out. Now we've got 2 crimp tubes. And amazingly enough, crimp tubes can be really expensive. Now, I think these are probably some of my Beadalon, which are less expensive, but they're still like 15 cents a piece. Now we have our washer spacers. And I always write this down rather than trying to just go, oh, it's this, because you can miss something. If you don't go over them like this, you can miss something. Oh, that's cool, Gloria. I like that. Where old is new again. I like it. That's good. Anyway, so our washer spacers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is our middle spot, so we know that there's 18 of the washer spacers. The washer spacers, I believe, are 2 cents each, so that'd be 36. Now we come back here and we have these really beautiful shell rice beads. And this is one of those things I'm going to have to guesstimate because I don't know how much they cost. So 1, 2, 3 up to the focal. So there's 6 total. Back down here again. And now we have the white Heishi. Again, I don't know. These were in, they were actually on a strand of beads that I got in, that I won from a drawing from Randy. So 2, 3, 4. So there's 8 of those. Now this I do know the price of. They're 3 cents each. This is the brown sea glass that I actually bought from Beluga Beads. There's 1, 2, so 4 of those at 3 cents each is 12. Next, we're at our little turtles. Again, I know how much these are. They're 10 cents each. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of those. So 40 cents. Now we have our little glass pearl. Now, this is actually an easy guesstimate. Glass pearls don't usually cost a lot. If they're shell pearls, they cost more. If they're glass pearls, we're looking at probably anywhere from 3 to 5 cents a piece. There's only 3 in here. I'm going to say 5. They're probably not, but it's close enough. So 15, since there's not very many of them in there anyway. And then I think we're at this little shell trap. Again, this was on the strand, so I will have to guesstimate on it. Now, this was a Hildy and Joe strand, so it was probably about $6 for the strand, maybe a little more. So we can do some quick guesstimating. I'm gonna go with only 3 cents for our little Hishi beads. So 8 times 3 is 24. The shell trap would be, of course, more. It's a little trap. I'm going to say 20 cents for the trap. Now, I really love these shell rice beads. I have no clue what they would go for. I know that the shell beads are more expensive. This chain was not expensive. I'm going to say it's probably about 15 cents worth of chain. My lobster claws are these are the bigger lobster claws, so they're a little more expensive than the smaller ones. They're right here beside me. I got a whole bunch of them. They're 40 cents each. And now we just have to make a guesstimate on what we want to charge for these rice beads. 6 cents for the pearls. We can raise that price. I think I put them down as what? About 5 cents? That's close enough. We'll leave it that. I'm going to go high with these shell beads, though. I'm thinking they're going to be at least 20 cents a piece. Maybe even a quarter, because I have some shell beads. I'm not sure I have them right here close to me, though. Trying to get everything put away, which is easier said than done when you're trying to put things away. I'm going to say a quarter on the shell beads. So that is $1.50. Now we're going to add all this stuff up. Comes to $4.79. And now we do our 2 pricing measures. Times 2 is $9.58 plus, can't remember how long that took me to make. Probably about a half hour. We'll give it this $17.50. 8. So $27.08 for the times 2, or if we do it with this times 4, is $19.16. So do I want to call this $20 or do I want to call it $27? I probably don't want to go to 27. This is why I usually do the times 4, because once you're getting into your costs of yourself, it adds up quite a bit. Do you feel that your market can take that markup or not? Some places can, and I've had people take the markup and not think a thing about it, and they're just going, oh, well, yeah, it should be that much. But by all rights, if you want to go with your time, if you really want to use your time, you're going to go for the bigger price. This is just two different methods of pricing, Dorothy, that I use depending on how I feel like pricing things. I add up all of my items, what I put in here, what it cost me. Then I either do times 2, which adds in a little bit of profit, times your time it took you to make it. I charge $35 an hour when I'm doing time. So then if I did it by time, this anklet should cost $27. But because sometimes your market won't handle that much, the other way I do it is just multiply my supplies times 4. And then I come up with the $19.16, which I would round up to $20. So this one is, again, would probably round up. I don't like odd numbers, so it would either be 28 or 27, however I felt. And because we're got a pretty big definition between, I would probably call this anklet be $24. And I think it's a nice enough anklet that it can take that 24. So what I'm in effect doing when I lower the price from my this one to go between these two is I'm more or less taking away my time, part of my time. Go in there. So that's something you have to think about. Are you willing to give up your own time to go with just the profit margin of the times 4? Are you willing to give up your time? I generally give up some of my time when it's such a big differential like this between the 19 and the 27. If it's not a big differential, if it's really close, like the Raven Skull stuff was, I'll generally just go with a sort of in the middle part between the two. And as far as the Raven Skull earrings and necklace were concerned, it was minimal, the difference. Whereas some of these are a great deal different. Here, let's see if we can get back up to our Raven Skull. So here's the difference between the times and this is the time one, and this was the times 4. This was the times 2 plus the time. And as you can see in this weird instance, no, you can't see here, I'm off camera, sorry about that. In this weird instance, the times 4 actually added up to more than the times 2 with my time. And that's why I went to the $40 rather than the $42. Now the same was true of the necklace. We had the times 4 was more than the times 2 plus time. So so I sort of went between, but it was a very small between. It's not a large one like some of these are being. And you need to consider how big of a differential you are willing to take. Do you want to do it if you were to just do it by time and not even think about the times 4, just the times 2 by your with add your time, these would be more expensive, and I can go with that if I want to. You know, it when it comes right down to brass tacks, you can price your items at anything you want to. I could charge $2 if I want to. That would be stupid because I'd be losing a lot of money, but I could. Um, these things are all a matter of what do I think I can afford to go with? Can I afford to lose my time, or can I afford to add those times in? Will it work? Can you get that pricing? And that is, like I say, it's entirely up to you what you price things at. I've had a lot of people ask me, how do you price things? And this is how I price them. You don't specifically need to price these items at any specific price. It's your business. You charge what you feel works for you. On the other hand, if you charge too little and you make no profit, then you're killing yourself. You're just shooting yourself in the foot because you can't sustain that. When Randy first started, she would undercharge her stuff, and Jeff finally said, you can't do that. You're charging too little and you're going in the hole. You need to, and he was the one that told her to do the times 2 plus her time. And my dad was a businessman. He built cabinets, and he told me the same thing quite some time ago, but he said times 3 plus of your materials plus your time. He said, unless you're doing something that's going to take you a really long time to do, like you're carving a piece of, for him, it would be like if he was carving something into the cabinet, but your materials don't cost that much, you've got to charge for that time, because if you don't, you've wasted all your time, because it's your time, it's your expertise, and that's what they're paying for. That's true. That's true, Marika. Sometimes you have to, but I have had people say, well, I think that's cost too much. I'll pay you this. I'll pay you this much for it. And I'll say, no, I'm sorry. If I'm going to lose a sale, I don't care, because I'm not going to downplay my own efforts and my costs because you think it costs too much. If you don't want it, don't. You don't have to. So, yeah. And for Etsy, I add shipping, wrapping, listing, and 10%. This is very, very true, Gloria. That is exactly true. If, for instance, we take this anklet that we just priced for the show at $24. If I am putting it in to Etsy, we'd take that $24 and I would add 11%. The extra 1%, so that becomes $26.97, rounds it up to $27. And then I add $6 for shipping. So it would be $33 in my Etsy shop. And that's because I always say it's free shipping. It's not really free shipping. I'm adding in for the shipping. You just know exactly what you're getting. You know exactly what it's costing you. But that price for the shipping, because a lot of times my shipping when I'm just doing one item is only going to be about $5. That extra dollar I add in there is, it's going to, you probably want to add a little more than 4, because dimes to dollars, it's going to be more than 4, no matter where you're shipping to, because I think the minimum I pay for shipping to anywhere, even for a package that doesn't cost me much, is $4.58. But you also have to have, you've got to remember, you've got packaging. I put them in a white jewelry box. I put one of my stickers, my logo stickers on each box to brand it. I add a little bit of extra bubble wrap to make sure that it doesn't slide around in its box. I have washi tape that I put around and a sticker to hold the box is closed. All these things cost you. And then of course, once that's done, I put it in a bubble wrapper, another thing that costs. And you have to print the label. You have to buy the labels. You don't get them free. So all of these things add up. So you've got to remember that. So that's why I add $6 for shipping, because you're always going to have at least 4.5. And then you've got those other items, those other odds and end items, your label, your box, your bag, your shipping bag, any branding things you do, all those things cost you. You've got to remember that. You don't want to give it away, because you'll be losing money. So even though I do put a free gift in each of my things, they're not expensive. I mean, if I know that I'm sending something to a beater, I'll generally put in, one of the things I put in are these little, I'm not putting these in anymore. These are little black butterflies by that company we're not supposed to name. So I would put 4 or 5 of those in with when a beater buys something from me, or when now I'm putting in these little flowers these days, 2 of these. Yeah, there we go. And so for anybody that's a beater that buys something. But bye, Chris. It's good to have you here. But yeah, you've got to remember, when you're selling online, you do need to think about all of those extraneous costs that you don't have when you're just handing something to somebody, that they're buying at a show. It's there, you've made it. You don't have the extra cost. To a degree you do. And I'm going to show you why. Because number 1, we have our earring card. You have to buy those. They don't come free. Then, to top that off, you've got your bag that you're putting the things in that they purchased. So, again, another cost. And you don't get into the shows free. You have to pay to get into the show. This one I'm doing this weekend, it's a 2-day show. It's costing me $100 to get in. So that is not something you can actually think about when you're pricing. You just have to, think, is it going to be worth doing, more or less? And I say that because your shows are all different prices. I've got shows that I do as low as $35 for the one-day show. And I've got the show like this Beltane Festival that is $100 for 2 days. I've got a show that I do that is, how much is it? My Christmas show I do is $150 for 2 days, one of them, and the other I do is $250 for 3 days. So those things all add up, so you've got to remember and that's one of those reasons why you have that markup, the times 2 plus your time, or the times 4, whichever you prefer to go with. Those things have sort of got to be built in to your pricing. So, yeah. So those are the big things, but everything costs you money. And that's why I list it. That is why I make a list of what is in the piece, how many pieces of those things are in, and then I add those prices up and put them in a list. And then I add the whole list up. You have to. Because if you don't, you're losing money. And you can just, like I said, you can just arbitrarily, I can look at these earrings and say, you know what? I think these should be $20. I might be underpricing them. But if I were to say, oh, I really like these, let's make them $50. I know that would be an overprice. So, this is right, Debbie. Some places request you buy insurance also. And I do have liability insurance, and I pay $300 a year for it. So, so that is another thing, yeah, that needs to be added in is your liability for some shows. I have 2 shows that I do pay, that I do have, that do require that I have insurance. So, you know, that is another thing you need to think about. Some people need more insurance than others. Like I have a friend who makes soap and lip gloss and that kind of things. She has to have a more extensive insurance because those are things you put on your body, and there are some people that are going to go, "Oh, I got a bad rash from that," and you know, things like that. So, yeah, so you know, other places say different things. Like I said, my dad always told me, he was a cabinet builder, and he always said that I should charge times 3 plus labor. Um, Jefferson taught Randy, and she in turn taught me the times 2 plus labor. And I have sort of arbitrarily sometimes just do the times 4 because, you know, it's easier than trying to remember, oh, how long did that take me to make? And sometimes I'm jipping myself out of that extra time. And like I said, when we did the bracelet, the yellow sunshine bracelet, I split the 2 prices up, so that, and brought the price, part of the price from the times labor over to the times 4, so to get to even it out to what it should be a little more. It's not a necessity to do that. Well, it's not a necessity to price anything at anything. If I were paparazzi, I'd be pricing everything at $5. You like that I do it at the 2 different ways? Yeah. And that is mainly just so I don't really jip myself out too much, but at the same time, I'm not feeling like I'm going more than I should. So, Anyway, so that is, I have a lot more things to price, but we've been on for almost an hour and a half. One of the other things I was going to price was we have our 2 pair of fairy ears here, and then I have some alligator clips. These are alligator clips. Now, when Randy does hers, she puts leather on her filigree. You don't have to. See, I don't have anything behind my filigree. And see how pretty it is? So I like these a lot. And then I have some hair combs. Whoop. And again, this is one of those things you want to price. Oh, they're getting dusty. They've been in here in the tray for a while. I haven't used them for, I made these some time ago and I haven't priced them yet. Actually, let's price this pair of alligator clips. Oop, got a hair in this one. Because I do have, I think, most of these pieces over here. So where is that hair sticking from? There we go. So the Butterfly and Roses alligator clips. I was actually thinking of putting these in my Etsy shop, but I need to check to see how many things I have in my order. So we have the clips themselves. There are 2 of them, and they're 70 cents a piece, if I remember right. And then we have 2 filigree. The 2 is in the wrong spot, Rose. You'll mess yourself up. And I know those were a quarter a piece. Then I have 2 roses and 2 big butterflies. I say big butterflies because I have 2 different sizes of butterflies. This is the big one, which is a lot more expensive than the small one. I'll show you what I mean. Here you. This is the small butterfly. This is the big one. So we have 2 big butterflies, 2 roses, and 2 filigrees. We also have paint and glue. Now, paint and glue is a arbitrary thing because I have painted all these pieces, and of course we glued them all together with the E6000. But it's one of those things, well, my tube of E6000 cost me, what is it, $3.99? But I didn't use but a few drops, so I'm going to say like 10 cents worth of glue. But the butterflies have 3 layers of paint on them, and the roses have 2. So I would probably say a quarter for that. So we're saying, I'm saying 50, 60, 70 cents for 10 cents for glue for each one, and 30 cents and 25 cents for the paint for each one. Now I need to, come on, where are you at? I just had you. Now I get these brass pieces, put you off here, and then I decide, and I paint a whole bunch at once. If you guys watched last week, wow, retailers multiply supplies times 5 is what they use in marketing. And I used to say, but now you understand the concept. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so I've got when I buy these, I put the price per piece on the packaging. I actually just painted some of these fairies. So let's see. There's the roses. They are 84 cents a piece. I'll need some of these things out later when I start pricing some other stuff to this afternoon, but right now. Now this was something that I finished the bag off and it's all gone. I think these big butterflies were the 84 cents I finished this one up to. No, I don't think they were the 92. So I take so we'll take, these are 84 cents a piece, so that's $1.68 for two, and $1.68 for these two. And sometimes when I have an empty package like this, I'll go back to my orders and make sure that this is the one that goes to the big butterfly. It might have been the 92 because I had two empty packages, but I think it was this one. So then we have to add all that stuff up. Is $5.96. So if we do it by the times 2 and then the times 4, the $5.96 times 4 is going to make this about $25. $23.84. Again, I don't like even uneven numbers, so it would be 24 by this method. This times 2 is $11.92 plus time. Now I do multiples of these at a time, but you also got to consider I spent time painting those. My business cards are from Vistaprint too. My earring cards are also from Vistaprint because I do them those, I just turn them on their side. And my branding things, my labels and stuff, those are also from Vistaprint. I think I got my boxes. I just use white jewelry boxes. I got them from Amazon in a big, huge box. So, so then because I did have to paint these as well as making these pieces, and of course you got to design. They don't just automatically pop together. We're probably looking at, again, a half hour somewhere in there for painting and putting everything together. So now we're looking at $29.42, and that would be $30. But I will probably make these just be 26 because if I were to split the price in half, that's another 6. It would be 27. We'll just go with 26 because I like even numbers. So this pair of alligator clips is 26 at the craft show. Remember, if we're adding it into the, if I were to put these in the Etsy shop, we're cranking this $26 up. Where's the percent? There it is. So we're looking, if we're putting them in the Etsy shop, these are more like 35. But oh dear, Beth, I'm so sorry to hear that. Ah, you have yours custom made with your logo on it. How intriguing. So now I just get mine, like I said, I get a big, huge box of, or I get them in at Walmart with when I'm running low. Like, let's face it, it happens. But the Walmart doesn't sell my favorite size, and I don't see one here, or I'd show it to you. I've got them all put away in their box, but they're about yay big for my regular ones. They're not one of those little square. They're about, the square ones you see at the jewelry store. They're about yay big. Mine are a little longer so that my earring card fits inside the box without having to take them off or breaking them. So anyway, these alligator clips are going to be $26. Now, these bobby pins right here have the smaller butterfly on them, so they would have the smaller price for the butterflies. But I've got the bobby pin blanks on here as well. And these I punch one of my business cards, put 2 little holes in it, and then just put the bobby pins on the hole on the business card. So you buy this, you've got the business cards already with them. So. And these, of course, get priced the same way. The cost of the bobby pin blank, the filigree, the butterfly, and the little leaf that's on each one, they all get priced out. So, and sometimes my bobby pins are really, really simple and only have like a little filigree and one piece on them. None of these 3 are like that. They've got little design. I made a little design on each bobby pin. This one has a flower and a leaf, and this one has a mushroom and a leaf with its filigrees. Again, they're all hand painted. So I do add a little bit in for the glue and the painting. Yeah, exactly, Gloria. Yeah, that is the worst part of having a dog, Beth. I am so sorry that you're going to have to put yours down. Sometimes that's easier. It's definitely easier for them. I know when my Sammy passed away on New Year's Day, that was very abrupt, and she passed at home, but it was very traumatic. So I'm sorry to hear that, Beth. I hope that you come through that all right. So anyway, we have priced a necklace. Well, we didn't actually price a necklace. I already had it priced. An anklet, a bracelet, some earrings, and now a set of alligator clips. Now, I make my alligator clips so they're opposite, so that when you put them in your hair, you have one on either side so that they face like so. Anyway, that's my pricing method, and I hope that helped, and I hope it helped when we talked about the cost of all the odds and things you need to add in when you're thinking about your pricing with your shows and with your when you're putting them online. So anyway, these are everything I priced today is going to go to the show with me. So I do have some more pricing I have to do. And then we'll have to record something for you guys tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to make for tomorrow, but we'll think of something. Anyway, I have to record something for Thursday too. As I said, for the members, remember the Thursday I will be traveling. It takes about 8 to 10 hours to travel down to Boise from my house. So I will not be home at 1 o'clock or even down there yet. So my members live will probably be late. So so I will probably do something on on Thursday. I just don't know what time will end up for you guys. And as far as Friday is concerned, my setup time is exactly the same time as I would do the live for the show. So unless I recorded setting up or did a live while I was setting up, we won't have the live on Friday unless I do a live later in the day for that one as well. Though I could do that, or I could just do a recorded one for Friday and for Saturday. We'll have to see. But this is my pricing method, and I hope that helped you guys all with help you with pricing. Like I said, pricing is a subjective thing to the person who's doing the pricing. You can price your things at anything you want to price them at. They're your things. It's your choice. But this is how I do it. And so I hope that helped you guys that are trying to figure out how best to price for you. All I suggest for sure is that you do price it enough that you're not losing money, because you will if you don't do it. At least the price of everything times 2 is about the minimum you're going to want to do, and that's still jipping you out. That still is not going to help you a lot. So I like I say, I hope that helped some of you who are still having trouble pricing, and we'll see you later. Well, we're going to take off now. We have been on for over an hour and a half, so I know I didn't get a lot of things priced, but I did get some things priced, and I hope that what I did help you with did show you, helps you do your own pricing. So anyway, we will see you all later. Like I said, it will be recorded video for tomorrow as usual, and hopefully I'll have one Thursday morning as usual, but my live for members will be later on in the day, probably in the evening. My Friday one will either be later than normal, or I will have a recorded one for Friday, and Saturday again, a recorded video. So we'll see you all later. I hope you had a good day. I hope this helped. And this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. Bye-bye.